So the Enneagram, do you think it would be helpful in terms of improving a relationship or understanding? Is it related to the multiple marrier?
It really is. I think understanding your personality type when you're seeking another partner is really important, and understanding his or hers is very important. I think one of the lessons I learned in doing this inner work was to really analyze myself. Know who I am, know what I stand for, understand the journey I'm on, seek my passions, go out there and live a life, and find out what my values are too. And I think that's really important. We often don't take the time to vet our partners. What are their values? How do they behave with family? How do they handle financial difficulties? How do they handle health problems? How do they handle successes? What are they really like? You know, I have so many friends who still say, if I could just find that CEO from Woodside and he could take care of me. And I said, well, Larry Ellison's available, I think. I think he's back on the market. You've got to quit looking at the outside in and look at the inside out first. And I think vetting yourself first and coming from a place of personal power and strength, and I believe in good personal power, not the other kind, but just coming from a position of strength, you're going to attract good people in your life. And then you can choose to go it alone and have a relationship with yourself. And whether or not you have a relationship with someone else, that's a choice.
So yeah. three marriages. The first time is more sexual. The second time is more family and life, and then the third time is where you really discover a true relationship.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true. In Elaine Fox's exploration of multiple marriage, she said both male and female the first time were very idealistic about marriage. The second time women got married, it was for emotional and financial security. The second time men got married, it was to regain social status, and they often married someone better looking than their first wife. That's another thing that I did in writing this book. I looked at the drivers. People said, well, did you marry the same person every time? Well, actually, no, I didn't marry the same person. I was the one constant. I behaved the same way in the marriages. I would say two had similar personalities, but they were different from different cultural backgrounds and different professions. What I had looked at were the drivers. Why I got married each time was different. The first time, I did it to flee home. I did it for independence and freedom at age 18. I was really done with, I loved my family, but I wanted to get out in the world. And by marrying this college student, to me, that was my ticket out. The second time I married for status, I married into a very affluent New York family, political family, the country club life and the junior league. And as a first-time marrier and divorcee, that lifted me up in my eyes that I could regain status as a credible person. The third time I married was out of sheer loneliness. I'd been in California like 9 months. I had this nasty divorce going on with the matrimonial law attorney, the spoiled brat I married in the second marriage, and I met a Czech immigrant who came into my life, and we lived together for a bit. He was lonely, I was lonely, we were codependent. I got married for loneliness, and that was the worst marriage. And then the fourth marriage was out of emotional security. I was so battered from the verbal and physical abuse from the third marriage, I would have married anybody who came in my path. And this happened to be an older gentleman, friend of the family from way back, I don't know. And so my drivers were different each time. And I would say whenever you go out seeking a partner in a relationship, you better understand what your driver is. Why are you seeking a person in the first place? And be sure it's not out of need. For me, there was always a need, not a desire. So,
did the book change you?
Yes, I think it really did change me. I stopped the multiple marriage pattern sort of by accident. I kind of told you how I was kept from the altar. But this book and exploring multiple marriage and running a videotape of my life from the beginning to the end. They say when you pass away, wherever heaven is, that you have to look at a videotape of your life down on earth. Now, I've already done that. I've already done the forgiveness thing. I've looked at how I behaved with friends and family, with coworkers, with managers, with husbands and boyfriends. I looked at my life, and I think that is something that this book was very healing for me to do that. And so I would encourage everyone to do that. We're really busy. It's easy to sweep things under the rug and to stay active and be superficial in our lives. But I think it's really important to look at yourself and know what you've done to contribute to the life journey and understand why you are where you are. I did not know how a nice, intelligent person like myself could end up with this scarlet letter. I just didn't understand what I did because I had always blamed the other person. And I always said, well, I just didn't pick the right person. The person wasn't right for me. He treated me shabbily. I had to get out of it. The next one's going to be better. But it was much deeper than that, much deeper than that. And I always say I've let some good people go, too, because I looked at the outside in instead of the inside out.
How difficult, Pam, it is to rebuild your personal brand after having been a multiple marrier?
Well, celebrities don't have any problem with it, do they? I mean, somehow if Kim Kardashian gets married, gets divorced after 72 days, People magazine flies off the shelf. People's careers do great. I mean, I'm reading now that Governor Terry Sanford, he was in North Carolina, Governor Mark Sanford's back in the House of Representatives. Newt Gingrich does his thing. Politicians and celebrities are surrounded by gossip, so it's just a little blip on the radar. But for ordinary people like myself, it's a bit of a big deal. And so what I think you have to do is be the best parent you can be the best person in your workplace, be the best neighbor, be the best sister, be a great volunteer worker. Just get out there and be the best you can be as a human being. I think so many of us really focus on being a tremendous financial success or a career success, and we don't really think about being a human success. And that's my aim, that's my goal today, is to do that. And to build the brand so it really isn't going to matter what I did yesterday. I always say, don't let people judge you by who you were yesterday. It's who you are today that counts. I'm not the same person I was 5-10 years ago. I've evolved, I've transformed, I'm curious, I'm learning, I'm open to new things. And if you're that way too, you're going to change, you're going to be open to new things, and you're going to have a happier, better life as well. And even a better brand. So I'm always working on the brand, and I'm hoping that I can kind of, now that I've dealt with it, put it aside and that people will judge me for the person I am today and how I treat them today.